back, relax, the show is live. From the start straight to your vibe. AC Infinity, the name you trust. Cannabis talk, no need to fuss. Knowledge flows like a sweet blunt roll. High vibes and wisdom take control. Let's go from the stash. Highly educational. AC Infinity. Cannabis sensational.
Hey, there we are.
We made it.
Made it. Oof.
Let's go, boys. Good to see you. How you doing?
We were lost on a river. We got out.
How many-
We survived.
How many times do you think we can run that excuse?
Multiple. I do think multiple.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Boys, it's great to see you. We got a quality conversation today, don't we?
Yeah, we do on a
Oh,
different day, on a special day. Back to
On a special
Tuesday
day.
just for this week.
Just for this week only, because we've got a lot going on, and more importantly, because we had a conversation about genetics that we wanted to share with you 2 days earlier than normal, because we think this is a banger of an epi, boys and girls, banger of an epi, more than anything. But and also because algorithm giveaway as
Giveaway.
well. All right, we got to
One
make
of
sure
the
that's
biggest
known.
giveaway shows in the game.
Biggest next to T with P. Guys, what do we got for them today, Mr. Grow It?
Oh, well, we're going to start off. We'll give away some stash blend. We like to do that every episode. People have been digging the stash blend lately. Then we're going to go in with a controller AI plus bid show. And then towards the end is the big one, giving away a grow kit. That's for the Athena, Jungle Boys, AC Infinity collaboration. And that's under pre-order. So once that gets released, which I believe is this month, it'll get shipped out to you. And, you, the winner. Talking to you already.
You know
so
who
we got
you
a lot
are.
of good stuff here for this episode.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, just to be clear, if it wasn't for Rob, we would have been on time. Unfortunately, he's like, you bastard. He's like, you bastard. Yeah, I was late. I was trying to juggle dad life and ACI highly educational life, and it just kind of intercepted, and it's the way it is. It's the way it is. But we got here, and I'm excited to be here. So we're talking genetics today, and we've got some great giveaways. So huge shout out to AC Infinity for putting us on today, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having such a great conversation. We wouldn't be able to sit and chill with the community and have such wonderful times each and every single week. Typically, we're live Thursdays, 6:30 Central, every second Thursday, opposite of Scrog School, which is 7 p.m. Central, every opposite Thursday of us. So don't get it confused. Just make sure you're tuned in. AC Infinity, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know exactly when we go live. Boys, let's
Just
do
real
it.
quick. Speaking of Scrog School, our boy Rick Torrey, got his freaking Discord dismantled and deleted today. He's going to be making a new one. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram so you know exactly when it happens and what goes down with that. But crazy, man. Crazy. Thought
Do we
Discord was
love
cool.
you? Do we love you? Yeah, it sucks to see the suppression.
Yeah, man. It's
But stay
ridiculous.
tuned. Stay tuned.
Oh.
Troy will keep you up to date. Go ahead.
What are we looking for when you're looking for an easy growing genetic? That's like saying you're looking for dank. You're looking for something fire. There's a few things in the criteria that I feel really make for an easy growing genetic, something that's easy for a person, whether you're experienced or you're just getting into it. What are some things that you guys look for right away that stand out? And clearly you have to grow them first to find this out.
Probably
ahead, Chris.
one of the things for me would be flower time. I think right off the bat, I think the less flower time, the easier it can be. Right, you don't have to spend as much time growing the plants. So if there's an 8-weeker, even there's genetics now that are less than that, 7-weekers. I think there's 1 or 2 that are 6-weekers. So after flipping to flower, it's only 6 weeks until you harvest from there. But yeah, doing 8 or 9-weekers are pretty average. And then, I mean, there are some that go 11, 12, 13 plus weeks. And I think that just increases the difficulty just because the plant is, you got to manage the plant for a lot longer, right? 30 plus days longer potentially than you would a 7 or an 8 weeker. So flower time is something that I definitely look at, and I've slept on in the past. I've actually Hades Throne by Zaza Genetics. I don't know if we have Zaza in the chat today, but shout out to him. He uh he sent me over his Hades Throne. I told him to send me something special. Sent me over his Hades Throne, and I grew it, and I flipped a flower, and then it stretched and stretched and stretched. I'm like, okay, why is this stretching for 4 weeks? Well, come to find out, I was going to be growing it for 12 to 13 weeks. So, yeah, I definitely keep flower
Oh
time
my
in mind
god.
from here on out.
That would almost be a like I'm cutting her. You know, like I don't know. Well, I mean, right now, luckily I've got the new cultivator kit, so I'm able to set up another 4x4, but the space is limited, baby. So when it comes to a long growing plant, like no, no, I'm not doing that because I really feel when you have a plant that's going to have a long veg time or a long flower time, you kind of have a long veg time too, and to train that properly because your plant's going to stretch like crazy if it's going to grow that long. So it's just a thought process for me. My harvest per year come into factor. So a longer flower time that takes away my harvest per year, which takes away my flower. For me, I smoke a lot, so it's definitely a huge factor. I feel also one I feel for me is big is that morphology of how the plant grows. I have way too many of these sour, decently long, lanky, sativa leaning cultivars that make it so I'm not able to fill up my square footage of the canopy as well. And so the trainability isn't necessarily ideal for me. I could do low stress training, I could super crop, I could do whatever, but they're just lanky, gangly ass plants regardless. And the stretch is out of control with them.
Yep, nailed the hammer on the head there. Nail on the head. Trainability, man, that's number one for me. If the plant does not meet the needs of what I need it to meet in the garden at which I'm trying to grow at that time, it doesn't cut it. This last grow that I had, I started with 15 plants, and with those 15 plants, I probably got rid. Well, I only finished with 6, so I got rid of 8 plants because they simply didn't cut it. Now there were some runs, and some didn't meet the feeding regimen that I had. But after training them down and trying to bend them like the rest of them, they didn't like it. They were just stretching. They were going off all gangly on me, and I'm not going to have it. Simply, I need to have my garden and my canopy uniform. And if there's a plant that doesn't meet that particular shape or that particular size, it's gone. And I'm calling genetics that could be Fuego, but I'm only getting rid of them because they do not meet my trainability requirements. So trainability is for me huge before I even smoke it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big thing too, is I feel though these are factors you could find out in veg more. Or honestly, pre-purchase in your case, Chris, when we're talking about flower time. But then you look at things that lean more like your resistance to pests or the easy feeding. These you don't find out until you grow it. You know, like you have to take the time, especially different phenotypes could be different in the way that they grow, period. The menthol that I just had recently. One was beautiful, lanky in the right areas, good leaf to bud ratio, nice stacker. The other one was just so much leaf, short, squatty. It's just a stressful plant in general, but they're sisters, you know, and you kind of got to deal with them. That's a factor I didn't find out until after I grew the actual cultivar. So some things you can't find out until after you get it, which is tough, you know. Got to get in the field.
Yeah, I think most things are kind of like that when you're
Your mic cut off unless oh, I'm sorry, that's me.
Oh, no, was it?
Oh, it wasn't me. I'm sorry.
It was
Yep, you're good
Chris.
now.
I
You're
agree
good now,
though.
Chris.
I think it reset. Are we good now?
Yep. Good.
Yeah, I agree
Yep.
with where you were going. You have most things you do have to like you can go based on what somebody says, but that's probably the phenotype they had. Doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get that exact result.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're like F1s, F2s, you could have stuff all over the place. If it's more down the line, you could see more uniformity, and you can go in there with some more expectations as far as how it's going to grow. But some of the easiest genetics I've grown have been ones that I've just topped the plant once, and really no bending of the branches of low stress training. And the final product ends up being a plant that has a nice flat top, multiple colors coming up, and yeah, barely any training. So I really like that. That's one thing that I look for. I have a pungent punch cross with Chilled OG growing right now, and that's what I did. I just topped it once, and the thing looks beautiful now. It's in flowering. I'll show you guys in a little bit. We're gonna take it to the tent here in a little bit. We're also going to talk about specific genetics in a little bit, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, some of those old, the tall, gangly ones that you say are real stretchy and kind of flop all over the place. Those some people like the chemical profile on, you know what I mean? So they grow it out
That's me.
because of that. So you got peanut butter breath, for example, which is one that's just long and stretchy, and the buds get so big on it, at least for me, that it was flopping all over the place towards the flowering. So harder to manage, but still a real good smoke in the end run.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, same situation, I needed to train it. The colas that you do have, like, they're not in mass abundance, but they're heavy and they fall over. This is stuff that's better if somebody else grows it. But it's you don't know until you get it, and you gotta figure that out. But one thing that you can kinda pick through and decide ahead of time would be fems, regs, or autos. I think easiest approach for a lot of new growers or people who are in limited space or limited plant count would be fems or autos, just because you don't have to hunt through males. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts?
No, I agree with you on that one. As far as autos, though, I think there's there's some people that say, yeah, well, that's for beginners. Recommended for beginners, for beginners, autoflowers. You can keep it on the same light cycle. You don't have to change it, so it makes it much easier for beginners. Well, if you're a beginner and you make mistakes in the veg stage, well, then you're stunting the growth and then automatically goes to flower and you're getting a poor overall result. So I personally don't think autos are as good for beginners. I think it's a little bit safer to go with either regular or fems. That way you can veg the plant for as long as you want. You can make sure that the plant gets to the size you want before flipping. You make sure the plant's healthy before flipping. You just have a lot more control over the fems or autos versus, I'm sorry, fems or regular versus the auto.
Sweet. And I'm going to disagree fully. I actually, I think as a beginner, I think when you fuck up, you fuck it up either way. And most
Put it
beginners
up, sis.
can't correct it anyway. So whether you're doing a photo or an auto, if you've got a deficiency, or you've got a toxicity, or you've got a pH issue, or you've got a cold pot or a hot pot, the reality is that the beginner has no idea how to fix this anyways. So whether it's an auto or a photo, they're up creek without a paddle. The reality is, grow a photo, forget about when to throw it into flower. It's going to start flowering on its own anyway. Just feed and enjoy the time that you have. The autos are going to work great in a veg tent. You don't have to have two tents. You can have one tent, veg and flower in both tents. It's cheap, it's effective, it's affordable. It's a great way for beginners to begin. So with that being said, I think autos are a fantastic choice for beginners. So I think it's a great display of ways that, both of us with plenty of years of growing can take something in a perspective and see something different, right? In what genetics they're looking for. So hopefully you'll find something that speaks to you as a beginner and choose a way that works for you. What are you looking for?
I'm gonna go down the middle and say no to
Oh,
both and yes to both. I
you
think
Canadian.
that I think that autos, depending on the genetics that you get, if you follow the recipe, so to speak, so you follow somebody who's already been growing autos in a larger pot, organic soil, yada yada yada, it's easy peasy. But if you're trying to do the most with an autoflower, thinking you're going to do Northern Scrogger's method, thinking you're going to be going Scrog school style with it and doing all this crazy work, you may not be able to do all of that. So it depends on how you're going to approach your garden. I think it's going to be different per person. Like we said with the argument of starting with hydroponics, like I was like, people like Wink have. It depends on your aptitude for learning, I feel. Because if you're understanding plant like biology as a whole, it may be easier to start. But if you're somebody like myself who's a little dumb, I may need to follow the recipe, get confident, and then veer off into learning science. Just depends on the person.
100%. Yep.
What do
100%.
you guys think of the chat? Let us know. Because I feel like
100%.
that's a highly debatable one.
It's a great conversation to have, and we're always open to that conversation. Whether you agree or disagree, this is a place of conversation, rather than debate.
Or
And
you
good
agree
debate,
to disagree.
agree to
Yes.
disagree, which is fair as
We
well.
do
And a good
we
debate is
disagree to
healthy.
agree.
Good debate is healthy. Just to kind of keep back going, in regards to just traits that I really enjoy, and in difference fems auto is feedability too, man. I want to make sure I'm not always growing one plant at a time. I'm typically growing anywhere between 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 plants at a time. They have to fit in the consistent feeding regimen. I can't give more attention to one than I can to another. I can't be given different feedings to these ones and different ones to they have to take the same course of action. In the same way that I have the trainability aspect, if there's one that can't take the feeding regimen, she's gone. You're gone. It's not going to cut it. So, because I'm not going to try to fix it when it's either too toxic or too hungry, I'm not going to fix it. So, for me, selecting genetics, coming after autos, fems can I feed it the same as everything else? I don't want a picky eater.
This is
Yeah,
sometimes where it's going to be on the actual listing description for the seeds. You'll see easy, medium, or hard. Typically, and one of the things that comes to mind right off the bat is sour diesel. It was so difficult. It was such a picky. It's notoriously known to be difficult in regards to giving the proper nutrition.
yeah,
Uh,
that's Headbanger's mama.
there we go. Right. So it's like if you know that something's going to be difficult, well, then you can steer away from it and you can go after something that's a little bit more easy. Now, I had so many plants that I consider easy feeders. These are ones that I was able to give either a heavy dose or give a lighter dose than normal. And the plant was still healthy. It's still thriving. It's still vigorously growing the entire time and end up getting a good harvest. But yeah, there are some ones out there that just are more difficult. You're going to see things go into deficiencies and you're going to try to get a rebound and it'll start to come back. They'll go back into a deficiency. And yeah, so I'm really glad you called that one LP. Having
Yeah,
something that's
that's
easy to feed is definitely helpful.
well, that's huge when you look at a mass scale too. Like we're all home growers, so it's totally easy. But you see on a commercial scale, why a lot of these really good genetics that some of us have at home don't make it into the dispo because they don't fit this criteria. They don't hit 3 light. They don't have the easy veg process and flowering process. It's just really interesting when you have the variety of cultivars that have the end product that may be similar to another, but the growth of it totally make it desirable or less desirable for others. You know?
Yep.
But
Yep.
maybe
Great point.
we should give away some stash blend, boys. I think we
Oh,
Give
should
it
because
away,
I
give
see
it
some people
away
in the
now.
chat talking about how they use stash blend and recharge together. Shout out to Scotty and the boys. Great
shout out to Scotty and the boys.
combination.
Mhm.
I think maybe others who don't have it maybe could get some.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I'm down for that. That's a great idea. Let's do it. We got a giveaway here. So what's going to happen is we got a trivia question, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be popping up here right away. And all you got to do is answer A, B, C, or D to the questions, and you have an ability to win yourself a bag of Stash Blend. So what are traits to look for with an easy growing genetic? A, shorter flowering times. B, easy to feed. C, resilient to stress. D, all of the above. I feel like this should be a fairly simple question. So what do you think? Put your answer in the chat below. You've got about 10 seconds to put in the chat. And you can do so a little bit afterwards. Nightbot will select and then we will find a winner. But before we do that, huge shout out to everybody for being in the chat today, and a huge shout out to AC Infinity for putting us on, for giving us a great conversation about genetics, for giving us the ability to have a great conversation about genetics. We appreciate you. So everything in all your ACI needs, you head over to acinfinity.com. Use promo code THESTASH15, baby. You'll save a few dollars off. So D was the answer. D, all
Indeed.
the above. Go ahead.
And I will say this was actually going to be the second question. First question was going to be an open one, and we were going to do something different, but we're going to change that and make that the second question now.
Boom. That's what I
Boom.
like. That's what I like.
Boom.
On the fly, baby. On the fly.
So if you
Appreciate
didn't
you guys.
get some stash blend already, you can go to stashblend.com. If you know a content creator that we rocks with, they will have a discount code. I hear Scrogger may have one soon. But for now, you can use Stash 15, correct, boys?
Yeah, Stash 15 or the Stash? The Stash 15. I
The
said the
Stash
Stash, so I was hoping I
15.
was
The
right.
Stash.
Yep. And appreciate you. And you support one content creator. You support us all. We really appreciate you for the most part. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
and spamming doesn't help. Doesn't help.
No. Once the answer's in, we got a winner.
Chaos.
Oh, do you see?
Giacana.
Congrats. Oh, there it is.
Giacana. Email giveaways at acinfinity.com with a screenshot of yourself logged in. It was a joke last time, guys, of a picture of yourself. Don't do that, please.
Logged
It's
in.
just a
I
joke.
just said it's stupid. I just
Yeah,
meant
I
like
know.
we
We
need
said
to
it like a
screen,
joke.
Like
Like
a
and people are
screenshot.
legit. People are
screenshot of
legit
yourself logged in.
sending pictures of themselves and their toes to our
Yeah.
people over at ASAT. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Giveaways at acinfinity.com with your shipping information too.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Appreciate
Yep.
you.
Congrats to the
Appreciate
winner.
you.
Congrats,
Congratulations.
guys. Congrats.
So, boys, there's been
Go ahead.
genetics we've all grown over the years. Myself,
Mm.
I just put out a video recently about short, squatty genetics, and those can or can't be easy growing depending on what your goal is, so to speak. But what have you guys grown in the past that's been easy, like one that you'd recommend others to look for? Maybe this being in the lineage or this specific cultivar.
Chris, you go ahead.
You, Chris.
Chris. Yep. Because you know one of us is gonna say chill out, OG. Go ahead.
I had it on my list and I said P's gonna do it. Then we gotta
I
change it
said
to
one of
chill
us
out
is
OG
gonna
for
do
us.
it. Yeah, it's chill out for me. But go ahead.
I'm not gonna say it, but I will say its mother, which is Pakistan Valley, is definitely one of the easiest ones that I've grown, and I've loved so much. Now, this one is the lineage. You dig back; it's actually a land race. So it is from Hindu Kush region, Pakistan Valley, and it's by World of Seeds. And actually, my roommate was the first one to pick it up and grow it out. It was something that he really had his eyes on, and I just fell in love with it. Real short, squatty plant, covered with trichomes. Density was on point. It was very colorful when it faded towards the end of its life. There was some purpling, beautiful yellow, orange. It's all mixed in. It was just absolutely stunning. And then as far as the smoke, it was one of the few that really allows me to go to sleep like that. You know, it was just it put me on the couch and then put me to sleep pretty fast. So that's one of the reasons why I used it to breed at Chill at OG. And that was also really easy to feed. You know, we go off the check boxes of the things we just talked about. Easy to feed. It was a very short flowering time. The harvest window is between 45 and 55 days. So short. It's so easy to train. And yeah, it was just all around an easy genetic that I do recommend to beginners.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably where a lot of the traits that I've gotten. And the Brisker was the one that P had. He had the one Brisker leaning pheno, and then I've had nothing but the Pakistan because like they're replicas, dude. Like it's crazy. They look like clones. They've all grown the fucking same. And then I see images all across our Discord, all the same looking. It's wild. That's why seeing the hydroponic one was a trip because it just had so much more vigor to it. It was just like big. It didn't have as much of a squatty low look. It was still tight, but it was a little more lanky to it. It was interesting. And then P's was like a hybrid of the both. His was like bushy, but it was wide. You know what I'm saying? But that was when you had what, just two plants in the 4x4? That was the
Yeah.
Northern Lights and the Chill Out.
Northern Lights #2, and then with the Chill Out OG, and the two of them just took up the tent so well.
Yeah.
And
They
they
were
did
twinning.
wonderful things. Yeah, they did great things. Great things. You want to take this, Rob?
Sure.
Go ahead,
Sure.
please.
For me, I'd say going old school with it. Trainwreck. Trainwreck was one for me that was a great grower and it was a great shower. And honestly, genetics that have been crossed with Trainwreck, that being in the lineage, have been easy growers too. They're resilient to stress, easy feeders, finishing around 8, 9 weeks consistently. And every single time it comes with a backing of a little bit of the piney, little lemon funk, but more of that earthy dank that shines every time. So the smoke ends with it, but it's mainly that grow that's consistent every time I've ever had it. I feel like Trainwreck is a little old school, but a lot of these genetics people have these days, they don't realize that it's been bred into some of the more popular cultivars that people have now. Even looking at like Pineapple Express, I believe that had a Trainwreck in it. There's just different genetics that people forget the great grandparents kind of create some of these desirable traits. And they don't even talk about the lineage. I have to search sometimes because the names are so crazy, you'd have no idea what's actually in the genetics. There's no hint of anything. At least the OG comes out of Chill Out OG, so there's something there. But the name is the effect, which is the rare things these days. Trainwreck for me, the name fit because it always was like my day was a train wreck after that. I was just couldn't even have conversations. Face was twisted. Always that like lethargic, kind of narcotic effect.
That's beautiful. That's
Thank you.
beautiful. Please continue. You were just serenading me, and I just loved it, boy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Continue.
used to love Trainwreck back in the day, dude. Like early 2000s. It
Yeah.
was like just everywhere,
And
everywhere.
it
I had a
That's
dominated
all there'd be
pineapple
everywhere.
train
around.
wreck. That was the pineapple train wreck was a sharp one too, and it just vanished. Like all these genetics, like I feel like they became so saturated. Gorilla Glue being another one, and it just vanished. You know, they were so saturated. Everybody had it, and then all of a sudden, nobody had it. And now it seems like they've just been bred into other genetics, and people don't ever claim these other ones because they got afraid of it. Like they don't want to ruin the credibility or the marketing of their new genetic by saying it's
Mm.
really basically this old shit, but it's a little purple now. You
Yeah.
know?
See, and one thing, this one that kind of leads me nicely into mine, and that's Dreadnought OG by my boys over at Ocean Grown. I took a little stint of time. It was about a year and a half, 2 years, and I grew nothing but OG. And Dreadnought OG is like it's a cross between Fader Actual and Obi-Wan OG. And this lineage is essentially the classics of OG. It's got the earthy, the fuely tones. It's got a bit of fruitful undertones. But what I can appreciate about the guys at Ocean Grown is that they're not afraid to list the lineage. They know this is OG. This is OG. This is what you're going to get. And so they give it to it in the name. And this was so trainable. It was so beautiful. And a moron could have grown this. And in fact, actually he did. And now he's talking about it now. It's funny. It's funny actually. You can't go wrong with this. You can't go wrong because I threw the kitchen sink at it in regards to the food. I trained the living daylights out of it and it still wanted to just throw more at me. The high was incredible, great for relaxing. I'm a guy of spirit of creativity and conversation, and Dreadnought OG did that for me. So if I was new grower and I was looking for a quality smoke that I would want to say held with the contenders, Dreadnought OG is that, where it's like I'd be like, you took on Dreadnought OG. Shit, what'd you think of that, boy? And it's easy. There's nothing to it. So number one for me, Dreadnought OG. It's got that OG. It's classic OG, but it's got that ocean grown twist.
Okay. Okay. That's not bad. I like that. That's one that you always told me that I needed to try, and it was
You
never
still do.
available.
You still
I
do.
know. I
I think
still
I
look
got like
for it.
I think I've got 2 or 3 beans left.
I found a good Gorilla Glue from Mycotech. Shout out to man, the community's amazing. I put out videos saying, man, I wish I had this or this, and somebody comments like, hey, this is a really dank one. It tastes just like the classic. I'm like, what? You know, there's a lot of people who still can stumble on these genetics, or resellers is a big popular thing. Seemingly these days, people are just having their own mini banks. So there's a lot of different opportunities to find these genetics that are hard to get. Trainwreck being one that I feel is replicas like crazy. I know Humble, they've got a version too. I haven't tried that one, but there's a lot of different versions. I don't know which ones are close to the original, but you'd have to try that. When it comes to anything from Vader and Doggo, like that's probably going to be Vader and Doggo only. You're going to get that. They're really exclusive. Or Lumberjack, but they're
It's lumberjack.
yeah,
But you're right. Like these are guys that are passionate.
super
It's like most
passionate.
breeders we talking about these days. In order to pull this off, you've got to be passionate. And this isn't just a fly by day kind of job. This is something they've been working on for I'll say decades, but it's been years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's so many passionate breeders out there, and one that comes to mind, which is the next genetic that I'm going to talk about, is Subcool. So shout out to Subcool,
Oh,
rest in peace.
rest in peace.
His his genetics, Queen Anne's Revenge. Now, if you've been following me, you've probably heard me talk about this plant before, but it is definitely one that I recommend for beginners. I absolutely loved it. I have been pheno hunting, trying to find a keeper pheno because I want to do something with it, whether it be cross it with Chilled OG or something else. But Queen Anne's Revenge by Subcool Seeds, formerly TGA Genetics. Since Subcool has passed on, Miss Jill has actually taken over. So they are still available to purchase. Now, the first time I grew this one out, I was blown away. I had magnesium deficiency to begin. It was very slight. And then it was super easy to correct, and it was healthy throughout the rest of the grow. And it was super easy to feed, easy to train, like we talked about. It covered in trichomes, super dense. I mean, it was one of the first, well, I don't say one of the first, but like not all genetics you can get that density down low where it's usually low, right? So I was really, well, I don't say shocked, but I always get surprised when I come across these genetics that just dense all the way down and just frosty, caked with frost, down where there's usually larvae, you know? So that was something that really stood out to me when I after flipping the flower and getting towards the end there. Beautiful fall colors came out. We're talking a dark purple came out, starting from the top, and every single day it would be a little bit more purple and a little working its way down the plant. And I actually did a partial harvest on this one. I cut the top colas off, and it revealed some of the leaves that weren't actually exposed by the light, and it was still green. So it was like this, and with the dark purple it maked it look like it was like a lime green with purpling. It was just absolutely beautiful. And then the narcotic effect, the couch lock effect that I got off it was just incredible. So that is something that I recommend to beginners. Now, the second time I grew it around and third time I grew it around, it was a little bit different, right? I wish there was one of the phenos, that first one I grew out, wish I kept, wish I cloned, because that was certainly a keeper. Now I'm continuing to look for that. I've been hunting through this for years trying to find it. Fingers crossed that I end up finding a keeper from it and use it for a breeding project. But yeah, overall, it was a very easy to grow genetics that I would recommend for beginners.
Did you have that last time we linked? Was
You
that one of
guys
the
have consumed that, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
that
think it
was
was last time
fire.
or the
That
time before.
I
Yeah.
mean, you were down talking it like crazy. You're like, "That's not as good as the one, but it's pretty good." But yeah, that was fire, man. Beautiful, beautiful bud structure. Like,
Yeah.
very, very nice. That's the thing is a lot of these older genetics or genetics that were made before the saturation of breeders, they hit these marks, and then when you'd see the color that came with it, it was such a unique, exotic experience, and that's where the exotic buds came from. Purple bud. And people, I mean, Lil Boosie made it, well, now just Boosie. He's not little anymore. But smoking on purple was a unique experience, so there's a song about it. Now it's just smoking on bud because it's all purple, you know? So, like, other than the chill out, unless P had it, that was the craziest I've seen it. It's never turned purple for me.
It was beautiful, and I honestly think I'll turn it purple again the next time I grow it.
We'll
It's
see.
just
Get
kind
the
of a
F4.
regular trait. Honestly,
Oh, the basement.
even with
Yeah,
an
it's cold as hell
F4,
down there.
yeah, even with an
Because now
F4,
here it's like
I've got conditions he just simply can't replicate.
you can't do it. You can't do it, Chris.
Can't
Actually, I
do it.
did replicate this last time around, but
No,
that's a
he's
different
lying.
story.
I'm just
Mm.
kidding. I'm
I
just
was in
kidding.
the high 50s this last time, and I did get some purpling, but
Oh,
I didn't get it like you got it.
wow. Okay, well, high
You
50s
got
is
it bad.
I can't compete with that because that's about
Okay.
where I'm sitting, the 60s, and yeah, yeah. And I remember sending a picture to you boys, and I think it
Yeah.
was I can't remember what my temps were. It was 50 something, maybe
It was
high
cold.
six or low 60s. I said, boys, this is why my shit's purple. It's like my everything's set at a particular temperature, but the reality is that I can only get my basement so warm with the equipment that I have without going overboard. You know, you hit that threshold. It's like even you can combat heat. That's something that a lot of people are looking for with quality genetics is heat. Can you handle that heat? Yeah, I remember when it was heat because of your light, boys. Remember that? It was like
Yeah,
I gotta have
HPSs.
yeah, I gotta have genetics that can handle my lights, boys. And so it's like, fuck, I'm high and I forgot what I was talking about.
It's good, man. That's good. That
Yep.
means that it's
Yep.
working, and it
Yep.
was easy to
Oh
grow
yeah, I
and
sent
to
you the
consume
picture. Yeah, I sent you the picture because it
for
was
the
so low.
temperature, yeah.
And yeah, the reality is like it hits that threshold where I just simply can't get it any higher, and it just gets cold. So you get these traits. Yeah.
What it is, man. You get the heater, you hook up, the AC Infinity heater. It helps. That's changed the game for me.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm
what's that?
Changed the
advertising.
game for me. What is
I'm just
Is
that?
that new?
advertising.
Novelty. That's like
It's
a
one of a kind
Easter
now.
egg type of
Yeah, one of a kind. You can't find these anymore.
Their old
yeah.
school logo.
Yep.
It'll be like when Pepsi changed their logo for like a week and tried it out, and
Right?
then
Had
they're
to
like,
go back.
"Nah," and they switch back to the red, and then they're like, "But I
Yep.
got one of the cans."
Yep.
We have one. That's dope.
Um,
Yeah, my
I've got
next one
another
for
one.
me.
Oh, you
Hold on.
go.
Oh,
You
all
go.
right. No,
Please,
you got
please. I
it
got
first.
excited. You go. You
All
go.
right. I got another
You
one.
go. Hugo.
Pineapple chunk. Me and Trey
Ooh.
grew this one for
Ooh.
a long time. This was an 8-weeker, a little more indica leaning. Anything that I've ever had that has skunk one in it has been resilient, easy to grow cultivar. Like it's one that just seems vigorous, and the buds have always been big, fat buds, but not super dense, so you don't have to worry as much about bud rot when you're growing them outdoor. But inside, man, like these things were freaking arms, brother. These are the ones that you'd show off to people, being like, "Man, I'm pulling a pound of light." It's like, well, yeah, only if you're growing this one in particular. But it would every time, man, shuck out at least a half pound in a room of 4 plants under 1 HPS. Like this was a massive, massive grower. But it wasn't my favorite smoke personally. The one that I had leaned a little bit too sweet. It just reminded me of like an island drink, and I went into it. Trey loved it. He's a Hawaiian, Hawaiian stallion. But for me, meh, wasn't into it. But it was just such an easy grower, man. Like this one, it was vigorous in veg, and it would start flowering real fast. And I feel like, again, skunk one is the main attribute for this. So if you find something that does have the skunk one in it, that's going to be definitely a good parent to help you with the easier grows. All
Good
right,
choice.
B.
I
Sorry, Andy.
totally agree. Totally agree. And you know what? I kind of got to agree with you in regards to this one so much is like one that you can kind of show to the friends because she turns out kind of like your friend Pigeon's, just huge, swollen, right? And you're like, dude, check this out. He's so big. That this was Holland's Hope by I believe it was by Dutch Passion, if I'm not mistaken. And this won the it won a cup in Argentina in 2013. And this particular one, I I'm not picking it because of its trainability or so much in terms of how resilient it was, but the way it took the environment. That was a horrible way to phrase that because I've had a few of these AC Infinity beverages. Quick close
Those
up
are
one more
AC
time.
Infinity drinks. They're
These
exclusive.
AC Infinity
You
beverages
get so
taste like
high on the
put me
points
on.
on the affiliate shit.
You just get so high, you get these beverages.
There's a secret
They'll mess you
secret
up.
menu.
Secret menu. This was a great strain because it's so resilient to your environment. Holland's Hope is like a European strain. It's coming out of some of the more wetter regions of Europe, and so th- the resistance to mold on this one is fantastic. The fact that you can have a very high level of moisture in the tent for this one, great. She doesn't really care. She can take a high swing one way or the other. And with Holland's Hope, I've grown this at least 3 or 4 different times with 3 or 4 different beans, not just phenos, but completely different beans. I'm getting a very consistent, very, very familiar taste. A lot of pine, a lot of wood. It's pleasurable to me. I like those peppery aromas that I'm getting. And Holland's Hope for me, fantastic. And again, if I can grow this weed, so can you. Because I really don't make things difficult. I want to make it simple. And I'm not going over and above in regards to how much to feed or how much to train. I do train maybe a little heavier than most, but the reality is like it's a passion. So it's got to fit or it doesn't. Holland's Hope fit. So I would highly recommend that for a beginner as well.
Yeah, that one is
Environment was
another one
huge.
that I wanted to try that you've had and that I was hoping you just randomly had a stash of, like your Uncle Mark. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? Like
just got
just a
it hitting chills.
random, and it's
We've
like
always
that's
talked about,
the cool
we've
part.
always each of us have always talked about our own genetics. I know you're good for the headbanger and
When you guys first met me, I had Headbanger and Scooby Doo when we first met our first trip in Vegas. I remember you were like, "This is the Headbanger." It was the first blunt. I have a video of it. You're like, "Yeah,
yeah. My
like the
first that
fuck
was my
yeah,
first blunt. That was my
yeah,
first
man."
blunt, dude. Yeah, that's on
I know
video.
it was cool,
Pigeon's
dude.
first blunt. That was a great moment in time.
Fucking great memories, man. Great memories. That was pre-starting Stash Blend. That was all the beginning of everything, and that was the
Oh
beginning of
god.
smoking blunts with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll another one on that. You
Never
know
felt
what?
the same.
Another
Never felt
cigar.
the same.
Those good times. I think it's time for a giveaway. What do you think?
Oh, what a
Oh,
great time
yes.
for a giveaway.
This one, Wink, don't put it on the screen. This one is a freestyle one. You gotta just know this one. We're not giving you 4 answers. You gotta just know this, okay?
Okay. Fair.
And we're gonna give
Here
you
we
enough
go.
time for me to break up this little bit of smoke, allegedly.
Yeah,
Tobacco.
I'll allegedly
Alright.
pack a bowl.
When did From the Stash create Stash Blend?
You're
You're
muted,
muted,
Chris.
Chris.
When was it released?
When
You
was it
mean?
released? Yes, when was it
Okay.
released? When was Stash Blend released? This is why Stash Blend, it was gonna be a giveaway for Stash Blend.
Are you looking for
But
a specific day or a month or a
just
year?
a year, just a year.
Year.
Michigan gang
Okay.
gang.
We'll make it
Okay.
as
I was
easy
like,
as
I got this
possible.
to a month and a year. I was trying to dial the day, but that's you and I. That's the three of us.
The giveaway. This is a giveaway. You
remember
put
we-
the right answer in, you're entered to win in the giveaway. We're gonna pick one. I'm almost breaking this down here. Once it comes up, once the Nightbot does it, Sid the Kid's on the back. When she runs it, she runs
And
it.
it
We're
was
gonna
the
give you guys.
tail. Sorry.
Go
Go ahead.
You.
No. You weren't done talking. I
We're gonna give
really
you guys enough
interrupted.
time for me to break this down right here, and it's dry at this point. Oh, we're getting a lot of right answers.
A
We're
lot
getting
of
a
right
lot of wrong
answers
answers too, though.
and a lot of wrong. But the thing is, I want you to
Wow.
remember too, for those that are guessing, it was at the tail end of 1 year going into the next. So kind of keep
This is
that
for
in
the
mind.
controller AI.
Correct me if I'm
USA.
wrong, right? Chris, you gave me an awkward face there. It was October, if I'm not mistaken,
No,
of the year.
No, it was
No.
July.
it's July for sure.
Oh, fucking shy. Oh, you animals. So
The prize is
they're
an
both
AC
lying.
Infinity Controller AI Plus, ladies and gentlemen. This is for America.
I have brain damage. Did I ever tell the chat that? I'm pretty much virtually brain damaged. Okay?
You
I
made me
am,
drool when
clinically.
you said that.
Mhm.
Now I look brain damaged.
Now I'm pretty much
Congratulations. It's that gas.
It's
Yeah.
that gas.
It's that Goss. It's a little German for you right there. Thank you, Goss. Thank you, Goss. Gostafin, probably short for
sorry.
Gustafson.
It's the gas. Email
the gas.
giveaways at acinfinity.com with a screenshot of
What was
yourself
the
logged
answer,
in to
boys?
prove that it's you. 2023.
Yep, that's what I thought.
2023.
2023.
July. Yep. We had a launch event. It was a pretty cool launch event
It
that we
was a
did.
big launch event. We had
Frankie,
skits and shit.
shut up, Frankies. Of course I know. Of course I know.
It's crazy that it was that long ago, though, right?
That's what
I
they
mean,
said.
We're in 2025 now. It's been out for a year and a half. It's like, wow, where did the time go? And we were testing it for a year before that, before release.
Year plus. Yeah. Before that.
And I was
Yeah.
growing a train wreck at the time, which is why this was a question that made sense. And I believe P, you had a Holland's Hope.
Of course. Yep. That's
And
where
we
I
didn't know what
started
the
it
hell
all.
we were doing with we didn't have a dosage. This was a brown bag.
It's so funny because yeah,
we
it
didn't know
was.
what we
It
were
was a
doing.
brown bag, and we had to call it the secret sauce.
Yeah, we were just
And,
calling it
and
secret
I
sauce.
remember because that was back when I used to vlog, when I had a real YouTube channel, and I used to like talk. I was like, yeah, and I'm adding in this secret sauce. I felt so stupid that I couldn't tell people what it was.
I know. Yeah, I just showed a brown bag a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amazon says date first available August 10th, 2023. Tip Top Smoke. He cheated,
Oh, you're smart.
but you're smart.
smart.
That's the way to do
What
it.
did
That
he
was a
do?
good.
We
Did he
launched it
Google
on Grower's House first, and then a month later on. Yeah.
Yeah, so huge
Yep.
shout out to everybody who has supported that movement, man. This year we've got some crazy cool things cooking up. I can't tell you too much, but stay
Nope.
tuned. Stay tuned. It's amazing. In Canada, we're trying to come to you.
We're coming, boy. We're working.
Okay.
I got to tell you, I'm working on. Like, it's me. I'm on it. I'm trying so hard, man. I'm working on this.
He's like, look, it's me.
So-
It's me.
It's coming. It's on me
Hey, black
just now.
ass.
It's on me. I'm coming, boy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. So again, it's the gas. It's that gas. Email giveaways at acinfinity.com. Screenshot of yourself logged in and where to ship to. That's a huge thing as well. Don't forget at the top of the at the end of the show here shortly, we're going to be giving away that cultivator kit, which is crazy. It's absolutely insane. I'm stoked on it. I'm also blind. I don't know where my glasses are, so I'm trying to read comments. I see great people. I see you guys. Love you guys. Can't read what you're saying. I see my name highlighted. Love the
Now,
suspense.
Thank you guys so much. Now, we got a little take it to the tent, if I'm not mistaken, Mr.
Oh,
Christopher.
yeah.
You got a little
Yeah,
something,
sure,
something. We got a
sure.
little something, something everywhere here. What you got,
Yeah.
Chris?
Want me to go first?
You go first,
Yes.
please.
Go
Take
first.
it
Make
to
us all look
10.
bad.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So we got this is a half of a 4x8. We got 4 plants in there under the Evo 3 LED grow lights. I got 2 of them there just hanging up above it. All plants looking pretty good. We've got 3 plants in 10-gallon living soil fabric pots. This is Ice Cream Cake Fast on day 15 of Flower. That's by Seedsman. And I had to put a tomato cage on this one. I was going to do some more training and make it more wider, but figured the tomato cage was more appropriate since the other plants were about the same size. You can see the mulch, the cover crop was cut down and now turned into a mulch. I got that 9-inch blue mat carrots, 10-inch drip ring. and the EcoWit moisture meter there. Right next to it, I have Jealousy Fast by Seedsman. This one didn't, it's still got a little bit more time to stretch here on day 15 of flowers, flipped at the same time. But I don't know if it's going to catch up to that ice cream cake. Same deal with the pot size, blue mats in there. Everything's looking pretty solid there. It's a Build a Soil Craft Blend initial amendment, and then Kiss Organics nutrient pack is I hit it just once so far, and that was right before flipping the flower. This is guava root GMO, and this thing's beefy. I mean, that stem, it's hard to see, but it's super, super thick. And you see the buds, the flowers just starting to go. It's so early here, day 15. I mean, we've got a long way to go, but so far, so good. Leaf to bud ratio, I should probably get in there and do some defoliation, rip off some of those larger leaves there. And, but yeah, it's almost done stretching, I feel like. And that thing is really going to cake on. I have a feeling the buds on this one is going to be really, really big. So I'm excited to see how this one develops. And then I have one more in the tent that's not in a living soil fabric pot. This is in a 2-gallon pot and it's fed Blue Planet nutrients. This is Pungent Punch crossed with Chill Out OG. This is what I was talking about a little bit earlier in the episode. Day 29 of flowers, so it's a little bit ahead of the other ones. But this is the one where I just did one topping and then no other training beyond that. And look at it. It's just real nice structure. We've got about, I think it's about 8 colas there that are all just kind of even and really good bud development there. I actually underwatered it. So I took it off the blue mat system, so it was drooping down. And then this is the next day, so a little bit of recovery mode here, but everything's looking good so far. I'm not sure if it's leaning towards the pungent punch side right now, if it's leaning towards the chill out. I think it might be leaning towards the pungent punch side. So we'll see. We'll see how that thing turns out. But really excited for that so far.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking eaten in the chat.
I'm trolling this motherfucker in the chat like you
I'm
wouldn't
getting
believe.
eaten.
Get
So
just
the
leave
plants
us
look
alone. We're
amazing.
trying to do a show over here. Damn it.
With your hidden breeding project that you haven't really filled us in on over there, the bud structure on that is different than the chill out. It's got the leaf to bud ratio is a little different. It's got more of a stack, but the buds are golf bally. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like filling out as much.
That's why I think it's leaning towards the punch and punch side. Yeah, yeah. That's by
Yeah.
Shadowborn Genetics. Shout out to him.
Yeah, it's definitely got a different look. I think that's the cool part with the breeding, especially when it's something you've already done, to see what you can get from it. There's so many people who've done Chill Out OG crosses now, man. It's wild to hear it. Saw somebody, I could rate it, saying a GMO cross they want to do with Chill Out. That would be wild.
Incredible. Somebody crossed Blu-ray Muffins. Somebody crossed Granddaddy Perp with Chill Out OG. Man, the list goes on. There's so many people that have done crosses with Chill Out OG. It's kind of humbling. You know, I've had a couple breeders hit me up to like, can I use this? I'm like, absolutely. I feel like when genetics are released to the public, it's kind of open source in a sense where anybody can do anything with it pretty much.
Yeah, that's 100% the case. I mean, it's like, as long as you don't take it, self it, and call it your own, that's a little dirty. But some people like to do that. You know, there's always copycats out there. I just think that it's easier when you have a situation where you take that and you pay homage to the artist, so to speak. You know, like if you hit up the breeder and work with them like GT's done with you, that's even cooler. But if it's a situation where you're at least giving respect to the person, I think that's massive. You know, pay homage. Really.
That's
I
it.
can't
That's
see.
huge.
My eyes aren't open. Pete, you got anything to show extra? Because I got a harvest. I'm
Homage.
end of life.
You got something? Please do. Yeah, I got something.
All
You
right.
too. Go ahead.
End of life. So I finished these ones. These are those Seedsman clones. We got the peanut butter breath, GMO cookies, Moby Dick, and a heavy air quotes Gorilla Glue. Definitely not. So I dried these in my cannon troll, aka my 4x2 AC Infinity grow tent. Dialed in the dew point, lowered it down, and these were dry in 7 days. And it wasn't stinky at all in the tent. The buds though reeked, so it was perfect. I knew it was going very well. Hand trimmed almost everything, damn near everything. But then I switched to the trim bowl once it got. And shout out to Sid the Kid for sending that out because I just was tired of it, sick of it. But it turned out pretty good. It got a nice thick bud structure, very pretty. Still a little bit of the lime green with the purple accents to it, but the terps are just hitting. That's the biggest thing. It's got a very funky everything, very funky. Other than the Gorilla Glue, there's no Gorilla Glue. It is fake Gorilla Glue. But yeah, decent yield. It was more. There were little plants. I didn't harvest them uh, as early as I should have. Honestly, I kind of let them go a little later, all with the GMO cookies. So it's like they probably could have. Feel like the Moby Dick could have came out a week earlier, personally. But it still seems like some fire smoke.
Gorgeous,
That's awesome,
brother.
man. Really good result
Mhm.
there. Yeah, you mentioned the Bud Bowl, man. What a time saver on that thing. I mean, I know that you doing live streams with the trim gel. I'm like, oh, poor Rob. But I
I
thought you had a
know.
trim bowl. I was like, oh,
I
man.
gave it to Trey.
Oh,
But he
okay.
got it now, baby. I'm just curious, Rob, if let's just say hypothetical, if you were traveling, say in the next few days, how would you manage that garden?
Ah, so I have everything obviously with the AI controller. Makes it pretty simple and plain, but I'm using the Blue Mat watering system. I've got mine
Mm,
dialed back and I have organic soil. So I just re-amended my soil, so it's just barely ready, but I'm gonna put it in there. It's full of microbes. I watered in stash blend and recharge. Like, and I'm gonna put some great white in there. Go extra. Go over the top. And
jeez.
then just run that, and it takes care of business. Like I don't really have to worry as much because I'm only gone for a few days. If hypothetically I was going to see you guys, and it just makes it so I don't have to stress as much knowing that I'm in veg and I'm not in flower. In flower, I was using my Athena nutrients, so it really just depends. I feel.
Smart, man.
Yeah.
Your garden is absolutely gorgeous, and I
Thank you,
just
sir.
hope that it continue. It's like
Hope it
it's easy to
continues.
look.
I do too.
Yeah, yeah. It's get to this point, and it's just like, yeah. It's like I'm at the finish line. There's nothing worse than watching those replays of runners like throwing their hands up 10 feet from the finish line, and then getting passed by mold, or
Yeah,
getting passed by pests. It's like that's not what you want to see. That's not what you want to see. But I wish you nothing but luck, man. It's your
that's
garden's
the tough
absolutely
part,
beautiful.
dude. That
It
is the
is.
tough part, the travel, man. Like, and the thing is you're smart by waiting to start new ones, right? I'm
Done.
dumb. So
I'm
I'm
done.
starting tomorrow to put planting some Hulk's breakfast from our boy Ican and some headbanger from Karma Genetics. Yeah.
Mm.
That's
I'm
right,
glad you
boy.
said that, man.
We back at it.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah. Back
abuse.
at it like a crack at it. I feel
Yep.
it. I feel it's like an abusive relationship.
I know.
Um, and I feel like I need to come back every time. Shout out to ICANN, man. I'm actually not only I'm glad you mentioned Hulk's breakfast. I'm gonna be growing Hulk's breakfast. Not only am I gonna be growing Hulk's breakfast, but the first stab of organic that I'm gonna do is gonna be with my man ICANN's blend, man. It's sorry, let me rephrase that. ICANN blend is an huge infringement against my copyright and
Whoa, I
trademark.
will sue him.
So I will sue him. However, no. ICANN's doing an incredible thing with his mix for his veg and his bloom. And I'm gonna be growing it. I'm gonna be growing it and I'm gonna be pairing it up with Stash Blend. And I'm stoked for it, brother. And I can't wait for that. So everything's coming out ICANN. And huge shout out to him, man, and Legal News Network. I see him doing a crazy thing over there on his channel. He's got a new channel out there, and I'm super stoked about it. And real quick, before I get into my take it to the 10, here's the new grow channel that I have as well. This is going to be where all my plants are headed. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and a brand new video drops next week. I'm totally stoked about it. It has a lot to do with this grow that's coming that I'm about to show you, and the one that I've been showing you every single week here on the Highly Educational Show. As you guys know, we actually started our grow together. We planted our seeds together, and I harvested my stuff. And I've got jars on jars now. So I've got some sea vaults, and I just kind of wanted to give a little look. My take it to the 10 here is a beautiful harvest of the peyote Skittles, the banana jealousy, the gelato 41 that unfortunately didn't quite make it because it's actually right there, still drying.
Oh no.
Um,
That's the one that
yeah,
dried. Oh no.
yeah, she didn't make it. But I live in a portable cannitrol at all times. So it's not ruined. It's just kind of beyond the dry point of expectation of greatness. So this is the peyote Skittles,
This is
and she
all
turned
AI,
out
by the way.
this is all AI.
All AI, everything you've seen is educational AI.
Educational purposes
Nice
only.
chunky.
So
Looks like some
I
good
got to
density on that
admit,
one.
what do you think about the trim job? Flock, or sorry, you're not the flock here.
Fox
What
here
do we call
too?
the flock is here, flock. What do you think? Is this a trim job worthy of the gods, or do you think that you think it needs a little more work? Because for me, that's worthy of the gods right there, man. I ain't got time for anything more than that. So I'm
Oh,
more of like
motherfucker sucks.
a hippie trim myself. What do you guys have to say in regards to your trims? Is it over the top beautiful all the time? Or is there sometimes a little of expectation left? This is the banana jealousy number 2. Tell me that doesn't. This is I have no artificial color coming in on this. This is a
Artificial
5400 Kelvin
intelligence.
light. So it's just got some beautiful colors to it, and I'm really really excited about that. All in all, it's been curing for about a week, but I have not sampled anything yet because I will give it the 2 weeks to make sure that it gets the absolute best of the best. Not about quantity. Got me some banana jealousy here as well. This stuff frosty as shit, but the buds were really small, left a little bit to be desired. But I got a feeling this is probably the best one, and it's in a less than a I don't even know. I think there's probably 2 ounces to this one. Got some swank genetics here in a grove. Got some in there.
Ooh.
Oh man, we got a little greatness and a little more peyote skittles as well. Back and forth. So very happy with the harvest that we pulled out here, and I did it all right in front of you guys. You witnessed it live because we planted the very first seeds here on the 3rd episode of Highly Educational, and we were going to coordinate the episodes with the harvests, but we thought we'd take on an expert opinion and kind of just change things
Yeah.
a little bit.
You gotta ask the
And
experts,
that's right.
and the expert spoketh. And so
And
changing
so
it up.
we changed it up slightly, so we are staggered at different times, so we can kind of show progress and such, I guess. And here we are. A huge shout out to everybody for tuning in this whole time, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have such beautiful plants. And it gives me an opportunity to show you guys that although I shit on myself a lot that I don't know how to grow, I can actually have Rob send me weed fast enough that I can show you his weed to show you that he can grow, and I can show it off as my own.
This is Google's VO AI. It's amazing software,
It's
and I'm
great
able to
software
send him the prompt so he could do it. But yeah, it
on a
looks
daily
amazing. I
whim.
wish I could try that. Looks beautiful. Now because you and Troy both have said that banana jealousy is not banana
Yeah.
at all.
I didn't get
I'm
any,
upset.
but Troy, did you get any banana out of that?
Upset about that. I
Not
skipped
a
it. I said I
single
didn't
bit of
want it.
banana.
Me neither.
More
No banana.
gas and funk. Like more gas. I
I
wouldn't say there
said
was a lot
I
of, it was a
didn't
lot of
want it.
funk. Yeah, rotten fruit,
Cherry
like a
Atomic Sledgehammer,
rotten.
banana,
Mm,
stop.
yeah,
So
beautiful.
yes, it's about time. AC wants to leave. They got shit to do too. We got shit to do.
Let's
My
do
kids
it.
are bothering me.
Let's
It's late.
do it. Let's get
Let's give
out of
away
here.
this kit to you guys. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. It's a special time. Tune in. You might have a special stream from the boys here this weekend. We might do something extra because we're not going to be around for. Hang on. We're doing a
Boy,
giveaway, son. Son, we're doing a
one
giveaway.
more time, son.
See, they want to go too, and I got to put my.
Let's roll this
Let's
last
do
giveaway.
it.
It's for the
Let's do it.
grow
What we got?
kit.
I got my glasses on today, baby.
I
This
can't
USA
genetic
only.
was not an easy grower for Mr. ROBCLTV. That was A, Headbanger, B, Moby Dick, C, Sherb Cream Pie, or D, Shill Out OG. Now, all you got to do is put an answer in the description, guys. Of course, as you guys
USA
are
only.
answering, USA only, as you guys
Sorry,
are
guys.
answering. Nope, please go ahead. No, that was it. I didn't know if you had more. I just want to make sure. Huge shout out to you guys for tuning in. You guys are what make this show possible. Huge shout out to AC Infinity for giving us a platform to shout out from. We appreciate you guys. If you head on over to acinfinity.com, use promo code THE-15, you can win by saving a ton with this promo code over on their website. Now, A is the Wiener headband. If you put that in the chat, I want to give a huge
Headband?
congratulations to not it the gas, because that was the last one. I'm seeing that still coming up, but it'll pop up here in a second. Thanks to everybody
If you
for
know
tuning
me,
in.
you know Headbanger. It sucked to grow. It's crossed with Sour Diesel and Biker Kush. And
That's my
great smoke.
grow channel in there. I appreciate you guys. You guys got me over 1,000 subscribers today as of this show. So
Today,
thank
you
you
just
guys
did
for the
it.
1,000. You guys just now. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate the love and support. There will be next week brand new grow content in regards to what I had growing on, what I just showed you here. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. From the
Coming
stash
up,
will
coming
also,
up.
sorry.
We all talked at once. It was good.
We did. That was good. Go. I'm talking too fucking much. Go ahead.
Chris,
What I was gonna
you just go.
go.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
I X'd out my screen accidentally. All right, what I
I'm
was
not
going to say
saying nothing.
is Troy's show is coming out next week. Troy's show, so Scrog School next Thursday, and then the Thursday after that, we'll be back here on the AC Infinity channel. If you didn't win any of the giveaways tonight, you can always go to acinfinity.com and use coupon code TheStash15 to save some money on checkout. And there's also going to be a comment section giveaway that's going to be worldwide, $100 store credits. So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave drop a comment down below, and AC Infinity will reach out to you if you win their giveaway.
Oh, damn it. You got me there. I'm glad you didn't get me zoomed in. Stony Grows 420. Stony Grows 420. You won. Congratulations, bruv. You got yourself the cultivator kit. This is pre-order. You got it,
Hey.
man. It's amazing. All you got to do is email giveaways at acinfinity.com. Screenshot proving that you are who you are logged in, and where to ship it. It's amazing. Congratulations, man.
Hell
Congrats.
yeah.
Major.
Also, Tazarello, happy
Huge.
birthday. I was zoomed in with my eyes like this. I did this so I could see.
Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday, man. Tazarello. Huge
is
supporter
awesome.
of everybody around here, man. Thank you to everybody who pulled up. Speaking of the AI kit, I've actually got a brand new video dropping tomorrow in regards to this kit, unboxing, full detail, what it's got, what it's not, and everything you need to know. I think you'll appreciate it. So stay tuned for that. From the Stash will be live spontaneously and anytime. You just might not know. Make sure you tune in over there. From the Stash podcast over on Twitch and on YouTube, so that you have that you're posted with everything that we got growing on, because we're going to be having a lot of fun over the next few days. Again, thank you ACI for putting us on, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to AC Infinity, Sid the Kid, helping us on the back end, as well as Wink on the ones and twos. Much love to everybody who pulled up and was patiently waiting for us. We went a little later on the show because we were a little later to get here. And we can't wait to see you guys again soon. Again, don't forget, also the 8th is After Dark. They've got Jorge Cervantes. They're going shopping, checking out something to be able to get his grow going. And then again, you got Northern Scroggers, Scrog School. Check it out. But yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Rob CLTV, Mr. Grow Up Pigeon 420, Wink on the ones and twos. We'll see you guys again soon. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.